No.
We're live.
Copy.
Oh, we're live. Hi.
No yawning, Christy. No copy.
I'm here.
We have I don't even know what time this is. Your time.
What time it is, Catherine?
No, Allie's time on the show.
Same time as your time.
No.
Oh, it's time that she gets a robe.
I know.
No, I've already gotten the robe. This is past the robe.
I know.
It's robe plus. You get a robe and a towel plus. And a bath mat.
Ooh, a bath mat.
I was shopping for a new bath mat today, actually.
So, fun story. If you have been around the podcast for the last 6 years, Tetrick was our very first guest on the Girls Fun Travel podcast.
True.
Almost 6 years ago. It was in April of 2020. You were our very first guest, and you were still. God. Life was very different then. But Allie, if you do not know her, she is a former tennis player, World Tour pro turned gravel racer, winner of events like Unbound, 200, Gravel Worlds, a few others here and there. Also helps host the what's the name of that podcast that you all host?
The
Move. The Move. You have to say it that way, like the Move.
I realized the reason I'm being awkward in introducing you is because I realized last week when we did Sarah Sturm and we did the whole live thing, I was like, oh, we have to introduce the guest because then it just goes into the podcast feed, and usually Chris and I can beforehand and introduce. So anyway,
you got to introduce
Christy and I step to work.
Well, I'll introduce myself. No, I'm just kidding. I am here with Catherine Taylor and Christy Moan. Christy is wearing a great leather print vintage sweater. And Catherine is going to host a Zwift ride later. I hosted a Zwift ride earlier this morning with 700 people struggling to keep up.
Your ride will probably be bigger than ours. Ours is our winter training club ride. So anyway, well, today we want to talk to you. Well, one, you're always evolving in what you're doing. And now you've gotten into you're a trail runner now. You qualified for the Leadville 100.
I took that gold coin because I like gold.
Does that mean you're going to do it?
Yeah, I signed up. I paid the money.
All right. So you got into trail running and some ultra distance cycling this past year.
Oh, you are, yeah.
Christy,
Allie 6.0.
Yeah. You are the queen of reinventing yourself in the cycling world. Just give us some insight into that, because I think that's actually something women can relate with. Like, right? We don't have to be the same thing forever, even in our hobbies. I mean, this is your job,
yeah, it is my job, but it's also my passion, and it's because of friends like you. I think it was yesterday, Christy, I sent a video to the Kansas Grit to Coach Liz, saying what grit meant to me. And I said grit was meaning just not having to show up to start lines alone, and doing this whole spiel, and saying that I never would have started gravel racing if it wasn't for one woman in Kansas who happens to be on this podcast. And I think, though, that's kind of what it's about, is that we do things that challenge ourselves and that inspire you. And that's how your passions can evolve. And it's about finding friends that you want to do things with and that make you happy. And maybe the 200 and Unbound isn't what's making your heart sing, or whatever. It's maybe the 100. Ride with me, please. More women, more miles. We'll get on that. Or other things. And I think, though, with me, I love to challenge myself, but also not that much. Like, I'm not as tough as people think.
I mean, 100-mile run race is kind of a challenge.
Allie, that's just a flat out lie. No, it just is. Like, you are incredibly tough. So, like that, that's not true.
You both know me very well, and you both have picked me up in puddle of tears many of times because I'm terrified. I am feeling sorry for myself. I am just very tired. And so you both have been there. Yes. So I'm just going to say that it's not necessarily, I don't think, reinventing yourself. It's just following what you want to do, or like makes your heart sing or makes your heart happy. And for me, Unbound is my favorite gravel race. 100%. It is my favorite gravel race I have ever done. And I loved winning it, Christy. It changed my life, as you know.
Right.
And the winning it, amazing. But, and pacing the race, the sun, amazing. Selling my bandanas, they're still for sale, amazing. But the best Unbound I've ever done was last year, the More Women, More Miles. Just the group ride, even just not even doing the 100, just the group ride with all these feisty women and Girls Gone Gravel women just showing up and riding with us. I was just, I didn't know what we were doing was making a difference. And I was just, and then you show up and I was like, when women show up, more women show up, and oh, wow. And that's not reinventing yourself. That's just making space and making space bigger. And both of you women have done that. And that happened in trail running. Like, I just happened to like to run because I wanted to get healthier and make sure my bone density was okay. And I signed up for a lifetime ultra trail run, and I ended up podium overall and qualified for Leadville 100 trail run race. I have done the mountain bike race. And there's a fun story in that there's a fun story. There's a lot of fun stories, but this is about like the reinventing your part. And I just like to hijack stories, but I played tennis in college, but those that don't know that, I played NCAA tennis, got a full ride to play tennis. I was a biochemist before I ever started cycling. So I didn't start cycling till I was like 23 years older. So 24. I got into triathlon a little bit before that. So Catherine and I have that connection. And I qualified in my first half Ironman for Kona. So I qualified for Kona in my first half Ironman. It was Buffalo Springs 70.3. And that's when you could still qualify for Kona in a 70.3. And I was 22, 23 years old, pretty young. And when you qualify for Kona, Catherine knows this, but you go up on stage and you have to pay like
all your money right then,
$900 and say, I'm going to go
to the cheap days, Allie.
So this was a long time ago. And I'm up on stage and I'm young and I'm like, well, I'm going to qualify for Kona again. I can't afford this. I just got out of college. I need to get married and go be a chemist. So I say no on stage, and I have over 500 people boo me on stage. I break out in tears. I like had my little short cut off, like Abercrombie, like denim skirt on, and my like whatever platform flip-flops that we wore in those days. And it's probably all coming back in style now. And I like bolt off, and I never did a triathlon again because I became a professional bike racer and then raced World Tour forever. And that's what crossed my mind, Christy, is when I was running, knowing I was a 5K to go, 3K to go. And I was like, I am top 3 women overall in this 50K. I'm going to get a coin. And I saw my 23-year-old self on that stage, and I was like, I'm not turning that down.
I'm getting food again.
Allie froze. Oh, there she is.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I just didn't, it's just, I just didn't want to say no to something like that because maybe I never want to run that long again. I don't know. So I think I can have years of yeses in my career. And Christy, you have been with me through years of yeses. And you have been through me in years of no's. And, so now I'm in a years of a balance of what do I actually want to do.
Well, you kind of coined a term that we've used on this show, like putting on your big girl chamois. And really that's, I think, just kind of sums up what you're talking about. Is just being brave enough to try, and the emphasis around start lines. I also think one of the really coolest things is, having known you for as long as I have, you've served as an obvious inspiration to so many women and so many men too. I mean, you've served as an inspiration in the space for sure. But what I'm really seeing now that makes me so happy for you is the fact that you are now being inspired by all of those efforts. So you're getting it back. You're receiving, it's like a boomerang. It's come full circle, and now you're feeling you're feeling all the feels that you've put out there by seeing all of those women show up to a 100-mile group ride, or, you know, for the group ride for the 100, and helping Catherine lead this More Women, More Miles campaign, and working on just being that face of inspiration. But part of what fuels you with that is that it's inspiring you to keep doing it because you're seeing the impact of it. And that's really cool. So anyway,
I wouldn't be here without you two, though. And Catherine will admit that I was crying because I did it. I literally was crying, and I am a crier, and you both know that, but it's hard. And I know that everybody listening to this, it can be hard. It's hard for yourself to show up for others and yourself. It's hard for you to yourself to show up. And then somebody says, oh, but you're showing it for all these other people.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody's like, you're showing it for me. And you're like, oh my God, but I'm like having a hard time putting my mascara on this morning. Or a bra.
Or a bra.
Bra suck. And though it, like, when it comes back, like, the bra or mascara don't even matter. It's that we all show up for each other. Mm-hmm. And that was probably, I think, one of the most pinnacle moments of my career was leaving your brunch, Christy, which at Unbound, which was amazing, about a seat at the table with all these women. And I felt so welcome there. And I realized, like, these are my people. This is my place. And then go to my car and quickly put on that big girl chamois to lead this ride. And then I'm walking down Commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, crap. I need to text Catherine because there's another group ride going on at the same time as ours because it's taking up the entire block. Bastards. And then I was like, oh, those are all women. Oh my God. And then I just started crying. And I was like, it's just like Field of Dreams. It was like literally the Field of Dreams. And I thought, you know what? The first time I did Unbound in 2017 to 2025, look how far we've come.
Yep.
And the cheers and the hugs and just the support of all these women just daring to do a 25, 50, 100, 200, 350. Just showing up because of this podcast, because of what you guys have been doing, what every other woman in the sport has been doing. It just still gives me the chills.
Yeah, we're definitely a little part of it. Like, we don't want to, I mean, Lifetime's invested a ton in it. And, you know, like there's lots of things, lots of people that have invested along the way. And we got to definitely play a part of that, which is really cool. And, you know, women have been showing up Unbound for a long time, but nobody's just said, hey, let's all get together. Because when you're there and it's like, it's still more men and you're walking, like, I've been covering that start line for the last 5 years. And it's just like, dude. Oh, there's a woman. And then when you like see this group of women all together, which was what was so cool when the women got their own start, right? Like, to see all of them lined up together. Mm-hmm. And now seeing that in the amateur field, like all these women that lined up with you at the start line that day. And, you know, that was, when we talked about what one of our favorite moments of the year at Feisty, that was definitely my favorite moment of the year.
It was Red Balloon for the win.
Red Balloon. Red Balloon, which was weirdly hard to find in Emporia, Kansas.
I don't think it was hard at all. I had a great time in Lifetime.
We're going running around from store to store trying to find red balloons.
You have a red balloon?
I'm like,
I got corrected on my post because, okay, so Unbound, which is now owned by Lifetime, of course, my first gravel race, my first mountain bike race, Leadville, my first ultra was Coldwater 50K, Lifetime. I was like, oh my goodness.
You're in the family.
I know.
You did a tattoo, a Lifetime tattoo.
I got an M dot on my calf. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking, but if you have one, I'm sure it's very pretty. But yes, I think though, the sport and just endurance sports are constantly evolving, right? And the way you push yourself for what you want can be different. And it doesn't have to be about racing, which you both, you know, we've talked about at extent, is just maybe if you want to go and win, go for it. If you just want to show up, go for it. And I think that's all winning. And I personally hate the term party pace because maybe that's not somebody's party pace.
Yeah, I agree.
I know.
Party
Like,
pace
are you doing party pace? Yeah, exactly.
That,
no, don't just take that out of terms. Yeah, I think for me that sport has just been taught that it's, I don't know, sport seems like a weird word, but it's just kind of life. It's just movement, and it's about connections, like meeting you two, people that are listening to this show, and people I've met along this journey. My husband.
Yeah.
I know. Like it's pretty special.
Please.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, it's special. But like, honestly, as we've been talking about this, I think the thing that is cool, and I think we, kind of need to pivot to this a little bit. Catherine brought up, your ever evolvingness. You just did like the most ridiculous, epic trail ride. It doesn't even sound fun. I mean, maybe it does. Catherine, do you think it sounds fun? No. Okay. I'm like, I'm trying to decide, like, is my big girl chamois big enough?
It's not that. There's not enough chamois butter.
I only reapplied once in 52 hours.
It's because you probably had a concussion and forgot you should keep reapplying.
I think you broke your parts on the world tour. That's what we're just gonna go with.
Yeah.
Well, I've had surgery, but that made news. Like, that made news already.
Been there, done that. But
yeah,
I mean, we Catherine and I know your journey for that. But can you just give us kind of like the 3,000-foot view of what took you there, and then how it ended? How it ended?
Oh my gosh!
How much riding did you do compared to walking?
Oh gosh, I had a crazy year last year for a lot of reasons. And one of the most life-changing events I had, wearing the beanie, not out of this, but I was invited to do this charity event in Chile called Fireflies Patagonia, and you ride for 10 days in support of children's cancer in Chile. And I went with Ian Boswell and Wahoo and Specialized, and you do this amazing gravel ride. It's all supported, but it's like they don't tell you the routes because, people with cancer kids with cancer and people with cancer don't know what's going to happen the next day. Yeah. So you're constantly just like, where are we going? What's going on? And I fell in love with just these volcanoes and this gravel and these glacier waters and the people. And I was like, I kind of like this place. Fast forward a little bit, I signed up for this ultra because of our friends at Lifetime, Christy, Sarah Stutman. And my first road race, Sea Otter. That was my other Lifetime. Okay.
There you go.
Anyway, so I sign up for this ultra, and then I get this crazy idea. They go, hey, do you want to do this across Andes? And it's an ultra cycling race. Specialized sponsors it, and Wahoo, and it's in Patagonia. You love Patagonia. And I was like, I love Patagonia. Yes.
Arizona.
Not Patagonia, Arizona.
Yes, not Patagonia, Arizona, Patagonia, Chile. And it's 500 miles. I mean, I guess you can stop. I did it in a team, so a mixed pair. So I had a teammate, a male teammate. His name is Canuto. He's Chilean. He's done it in a male pair. He's done it solo. They've won. And I first signed up alone, and then Blaze was like, what are you doing? You don't even like riding alone. Why are you going to ride 500 miles alone? I was like, fair point. So I took off on this journey, and the longest ride I've ever done still, Christy, is 206 miles at Unbound. Mm-hmm. 218 technically if you take my rides back and forth from my rented house.
Which obviously you are.
So. I am. It's 218.
I Strava file.
It is 218 because back and forth to the house I rent, and you know exactly where that is.
Yep.
So I was like, Blaze is like, it's just another bike ride. So we embark on this 500-mile journey across volcanoes. It's got like 48,000 feet of climbing. You've got 5 days to do it. We're planning to finish it in 2. We're doing pretty well. I'm having the time of my life. I'm just like glued on. I'm like eating, drinking. I don't speak Spanish very well, so I don't have a lot to say, which is shocking. I was quieter than you guys can ever imagine. I was just like, sí, no, por favor. I don't know. I've got my navigation. They give me navigation for this one. And it was probably like one of the most beautiful. It wasn't hard for so long. It was just so like I got in this kind of flow state, and I have never ridden all night. And you're riding through these volcanoes, and you're just these desolate gravel roads, and a herd of wild horses go by. I've never really ridden with lights on my bike. And I'm riding with lights and following Canuto through these like just gorgeous like roller coaster, these huge like giant cactus trees and the stars, and I am just having like the most amazing time. Then you get to the volcano, and I'm like, is this sand or snow? And he's like, I think it's snow. I think that's what he said. And I'm freezing, and then suddenly at 2:00 in the morning on the first day, I'm not still at unbound distance though, Christy, but 2:00, I haven't ridden that long yet. Now, and he's like, have you broken your barrier yet? And I'm like, I'm not over 218 miles, but I'm at 2 in the morning. And he tells me it's 100K to go till our next stop. And I'm like, when has anyone at 2 in the morning told me it's 100K till we're going to stop again? And I text Blaze, and I was like, and then I introduced Canuto to his first cup of noodle soup. So we stop at some woman's house that like opens up her little like pop-up store, and we get some soup, and we ride all night, and we keep going. It's incredible. And so it's a beautiful time. And I still just can't describe how like amazing it was. And then we keep going, and we don't sleep. We stop, but it's like Sammy was there, and it's just like loud. It's like kind of a hostile situation, not hostile, like hostile environment, but like everyone's sleeping in the same place, and it's just loud, and there's a lot of people. So we keep moving, and I've never stayed up all night, not in college, not partying, not studying. I'm not that type of person. And so now I'm like going on riding all night. That's cool. And then we push through the next night, and then he's like, and I crash just the first time, which wasn't bad. But then he's like, kind of like, your neck, like my back was hurting. I keep like, I went through heat stroke and I was vomiting. I forgot about that part. I've been vomiting the first like 8 hours. What?
The fact that I'm never going to do this kind of ride.
Oh yeah, no, I was vomiting through heat stroke.
Sorry, people.
It was really hot in Chile, actually. So I was vomiting, and I got over that, and I was feeling amazing. And then we kept pushing. We're in like second place, then we're in first place. And then now we're pushing through the night, and we're in first place, and then we keep going. And then I just was like, now I'm really in no man's land, because I'm 300 miles, and my back hurts. So I keep stopping to like stretch my back. And then he's like, I think it's your neck. And I was like, no, it's not my neck. It's my back. And he's like, and I was descending, kind of like doing like cat cow anyway. And it turns out I got like Schirmer's neck. So my head like wouldn't stay up. So now I'm going through like Alice in Wonderlands. And if you guys told me I had been taking like psychedelics, which I've never taken, I would believe you. I was seeing like Candyland. I have no idea where I was. So he takes a USB cord that we were carrying to tie up our, or to charge our phones with to our battery packs. He takes a USB cord and ties it my helmet to my camelback to try to keep my head up, so I could ride.
None of this is appealing.
No, and this is like 375 miles in, and then 400 miles in, like we're putting a water bottle down my sports bra to like try to keep my chin up.
It's very inventive ways of trying to keep
apparently this is a thing. This Schirmer's neck.
Thing. Yeah.
And so my head, so then I start riding my bike like a thinker, like the thinker thing. So I like pedal and then like sit with my chin on my fist, like with my like coasting. And then finally I'm like, and Christy and Catherine know that I have had some bad head injuries and things, and it's just not worth it. So we're walking the bike when I don't feel like I can ride, because we don't want to crash, right? And he's super patient and an amazing teammate. So we get 475 miles in. We're second place now. We're like, all right. We stop for avocado toast and like hot chocolate. Like at this point, we're like, second's great. Let's just get to the finish line. 475 miles in, text Blaze. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, almost there. I'm like, yeah. And then I crash. I told him, I was like, I'm getting really nauseous when my like head hits the ground. Like my head hits my chest. This is weird. And so I end up crashing. And the last thing I remember, and you guys know this, but like I couldn't control my hands. My head just like snaps down. I crashed. I yelled at Canuto, help me. And like, obviously he can't do anything because I'm riding my bicycle, and I lost control of my body. And I crashed really hard, and I am not safe to ride my bike anymore. And he's very patient. He's sitting there and he said, Al, you're done. And I was like, nah, I'm not done. I didn't come to Chile to ride 475 miles. I came to ride 500. And he said, what do you have to prove? I said, nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's like, okay. He's like, I've quit like 15 miles to go. I've been winning and quit 15 miles to go because I had this neck thing happen. Like, you're done. So I just started walking. And the poor guy just has to like follow me because according to the rules, I thought he was being nice. Later, he tells me according to the rules, he can't leave me. So he's just like walking with me. And then finally he takes my bike and we decide to walk. And we walk about 40K, 17 hours. And we finished third.
That's impressive.
And I'm still in a neck collar. I'm not wearing on this podcast, and you guys know that because I'm vain. But it's right here. But I think what I learned from that is, Christy, I thought about you so much in these moments when I was trying to ride, and I knew it wasn't smart. And I was thinking about, how am I going to tell people I got back on my bike? I had crashed really hard. I knew I broke my sternum. My sternum is dislocated and broken in 3 places and displaced by 2 centimeters. And it turns out I broke my spine in like 7 places. I did not know this at the time. I did know my sternum was broken. But I was thinking about you, Christy, about start lines. And I knew when I was telling Canuto the same thing, I knew I didn't have anything to prove. And I was like, no, start lines. I was brave enough to show up. I wanted to show up. This inspired me. I was thinking about everything I would tell somebody.
Right.
I don't have to finish. You don't have to do this. And it was the first time, Christy, in my career, I was like, I want to finish for me. Like, I am going to walk because I believed it was safe, and I still believe it was safe for me to walk. And I wanted to finish something I started, not for a sponsor, not to prove anything, but it was just over that hill. It was 40K. That's a long time. I run marathons, but like, I wanted to do it for me in the weirdest way. And I'm very fortunate my teammate was patient enough to then push my bike for me, because the poor guy was like,
I would have been like, sorry, Allie, I love you. I'm calling a cab.
He looks at me and he goes, we're going to not even average 5K an hour. Do you realize how long that's going to take? It didn't even like phase me. I was like,
no, you weren't even thinking that way. You're like, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. And so we did. And I mean, he was pushing my bike for me, which was really nice of him. But I don't think I've ever been more proud of any finish I've ever done. And it wasn't about a third place or finishing 500 miles, but I think it was, I'm not suggesting anybody listening to do that, but I think there is something in when things go awry and they don't go according to plan, and you have something in your gut that like you want to finish and it's not pretty, as long as it's safe and healthy. I think sometimes we get caught up in like, I had this goal pace, I don't feel well, like we get caught up in what is it going to look like? Like what am I going to tell, my partner? What am I going to tell my sponsors? What am I going to tell like my cycling club, my triathlon club? And that's what I think he thought I was thinking. He was like, who are you trying to prove this to? Who do you like, What story are you trying to tell? What story are like, what? And I was like, no. And I knew that because Christy, you were the first person that came into my mind. And I was like, actually, it's just me. I'm just going to walk over that swear word mountain and I'm going to finish this because I want to. And I don't know. And that's why I think though, finishing something, starting is so brave, but sometimes finishing when it doesn't go right is okay too.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that makes sense. What do you think about that?
I think you're nuts.
Yes, Catherine.
We can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Catherine. Oh, she's back.
She gone. Nope. Well, Catherine thinks that, I could hear me through you. That was
Your
weird.
hair looks
Did you hear that echo?
Yeah, I heard the echo. She's muted now, though, Catherine.
Now you're muted now.
Now can you hear me?
There you go. Boom, boom.
It was connecting to my phone for some reason.
That's weird. I could then hear me through you.
I would like to hear Catherine's thoughts, since Christy just thinks I'm crazy, even though you are my spirit animal. Thanks, spirit animal.
I love you. I think you're crazy.
I think you are an elite athlete.
Yeah.
And you see the world through the lens of an elite athlete. And this is the way 99% of people that line up at a start line should see the world. But often we put that pressure on ourselves to like, I've got to like, the number of times I've heard somebody be like, I just don't want to be last at an event until they started DFL. And now people are like, oh, could I be last to be the party? But like we put that pressure on ourselves and just being, instead of just saying like, I'm showing up just for me and to see what I can do and to do something I'm proud of today. So I think maybe you've learned the lesson of the typical amateur athlete after however many years as an elite athlete.
I think that's right, though. Like I went through the emotions. Believe me, I had 17 hours on 0 sleep, where at one point we couldn't, like, well, we didn't talk, but at one point we don't even know where we are, what we're saying. We're just kind of like, he like fell off the side of the road at one point, like just walking. Like we were so tired. And I did have moments, I will tell you, of like shame and embarrassment and like, do I even, like, what's worse, like calling a ride or finishing, or what do I want to do? And my spirit animal, Christy, was telling me, but I did feel it was safe for me. Like I said, it was safe, it was healthy. And like Catherine, I agree with you. I just thought this, I don't have to have the right story. I don't have to have this. It's just like, you know, when you're dating someone, you want this perfect marriage and you want this perfect race and you want this, all this, like everything you want to fit this arc of a story. It wasn't fitting anything I had ever planned or ever had in my career. You crash and you die and you get helicoptered out. That makes a cover of a magazine. This isn't going to make a cover of any magazine. I am walking over a swear word mountain for no reason, except the fact I just want to finish something I started, and only for me. And I think you're right. And I think that's an important lesson if you want to do it. But to also show that like you can be DFL or you can be whatever place you are, even if you had the best goals and intentions in mind.
Yeah.
If that's the right thing for you.
It's so critical to understand that the only, especially on just an everyday athlete, the only microscope on you is the one you put on yourself. No one else is paying attention to where you finish. They don't care if you're last. Like, you know, that's just the truth. And, you know, they don't, honestly, most people don't care who wins these silly races we do. Like it's such a overhyped part of this. And then we get in that dialogue with ourselves about it. When the truth is like, that's why I think the message of how important the start line is such a great message, because that's the important part, is the showing up and committing to the training, and that's the finishing of your goal. Whatever the result is, that's just kind of an after part of it. And it can be a great result or it could be a crappy result, but the goal was to do this thing. And you did the thing, whether you finished it or not. Like that was still the goal. It was like, you went, you showed up, you did the work. You know, did you finish? Yes. In a crazy, crazy way. And I think it's amazing that you did that, because that was for you, and you realizing, no, I'm doing this one for me. I think it's come from all of your experience being around all of these completers and having them as fans and as friends. But I think the other thing is like getting into the trail running, where I think you get a lot of time to really spend, even more so in your head. At least I do when I'm doing trail runs. Like I spend more time in my head on a trail run than I do on the bike. And all of the self-doubt comes there. Like, what am I doing out here? I'm literally walking this hill and people are running past me. I'm so bad at this. Why do I even try to do this? Like, And then I think that whole conversation is like, imagine if I was running next to Catherine and saying that to her. Why are you walking right now? Like, I would never
imagine you saying
I would never say that to Catherine.
Would you?
I would be like, you're doing great. No, I wouldn't say that. I might say, we could try running up this hill. Let's try it. I might encourage, totally, but I wouldn't be like, why are you even out here? I'm not that rude.
You wouldn't say that.
That's like, no, we don't.
But we do that to ourselves.
We do not talk to ourselves the way we would talk to others. My therapist actually last week, she told me that my pep talks to myself, because I am obviously extremely broken, have not ridden outside since walking over said volcano. She told me my pep talks to myself effing suck and I should work on those. Because like, I know what to tell you, Christy. I know what to tell you, Catherine. I know what to tell everybody listening what to do with this injury time. I'm like, use this time as a gift. You should go visit your friend, call your mom. You should like start scrapbooking. You could clean the house, do that closet. And then meanwhile, I'm just like, this sucks. I can't do what I want, you know? And then she's like, do you hear yourself? But it's totally true. But walking up that and getting passed by people, and they're like, you okay? And you're like, obviously not.
I'm great.
I'm walking my bike with 20 miles to go. We are not okay. And Canuto actually counted. He said 7 times he asked to stop. Like, he's like, we're done. And he told me later, I didn't even know this. He said, not once did I say we're done. And I was like, really? I never said that I was done. I never even like questioned what I was doing. Must have been really tired. And he was like, no, not once. Not once. 7 times I said, we're done. And he's like, you're very tough. And I was like, I don't think I'm tough. I think I was just very stubborn. And he said, what is stubborn? I said, oh, I'll show you. I'll show you stubborn. Translation,
they
stubborn.
Go hand in hand.
Yeah, Alison. Go hand in hand. But where the start line came from is that when I was racing, I think, and this is still applicable, but when I was racing, there was so much pressure on results.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be about winning. It can be about PRs or just your goal, right? And when I was racing, though, it was a lot of like, you get pressure on you. And for me, it was like, did you win? Like the minute I'm there, someone's like, did you win? I'm like, well, like, how am I? Like, how was my day? You know, like, I'm okay. Like, I'm alive. I'm here. My name's Alison. Like, and I was getting very tired of this expectation of, did you win? Instead of like, how am I? How was my day?
One person can win.
One.
It's such a shallow question. It's so shallow.
And you guys know I'm a storyteller. I'm like, oh, I had a day in my head. It were like, you know, Christy and I had a day. Like, you know, perhaps like we got stuck in a ditch and we had this like hilarious like moment that I would like to share with you. But apparently you only care about my results instead of me. And then it was coming back from my injuries, you know, when you're going through like mental health and my traumatic brain injury and you're showing up at a start line and you're so scared about just like the bravery that it takes to get to a start line. And maybe you didn't do all your training. Maybe you're not prepared, but you're still showing up because you don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
And so I think one other thing I always used to tell people when I was racing, and I still believe this, is when people are racing, this is more specific to road racing because it's a very dynamic, there's a lot of like attacks and like team stuff going on, which we have covered the Tour de France Femme avec Swift on this show. But so there's a lot of things going on. So you can be a domestique, you can be a sprinter, you have your days that you have a particular job. So I learned in my career racing in the World Tour, like you can't win. Like I race 92 days a year and I win 3, maybe. And that is better than most pros in the World Tour. And so I need something to tell myself, at least, to keep myself like happy. So I would tell people too, like if you go to a race, like have a story to tell. And because a lot of people show up and they're so scared to try anything in a race. They're too scared to like push themselves a little for like, you know, they're like, oh, I don't want to try this because maybe I'll get too tired or get dropped or And then I tell them like, well, you might as well have a story to tell.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's so funny because, that 2016 trend has been going around, like show your pictures from 2016.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, what are my pictures from 2016? And so I was looking back through a bunch, and it was like a lot. I was very involved in triathlon at the time.
I saw yours.
I was like, I don't remember anything, like any place I got in any of these races, but I can remember all these stories. Like see a picture, I'm like, I remember that story. I remember what we were talking about at the start line. I remember how hard we were laughing when so-and-so rolled up like late to transition. We're like, oh, this person's always late. Like those are the things I remember. And I think we just get so caught up in how like our performance on the day. And sometimes it's like, God, you miss all those great stories when you just don't let yourself just show up and relish in those things, and it's okay if you want to like show up and like, there are people that are like, I am here to get an age group podium. I want to go for that as a goal. That's okay too. But most of us are like, in 10 years, what you're going to remember is that story of trying to find the red balloon in the start line or something crazy.
Yeah, or somebody like handing you like a weird beer hand up or pickle or something, or meeting a friend, or I don't know. I think I liked your 2000. Wait, did I see a 2016 from you, Christy?
Yeah, I did the throwback.
I saw yours. Catherine.
It wasn't the 2016 though. It was just like,
yours was like
that trend that was going around over the holiday.
Yeah, it was like when somebody asks you to do something or other, it's important that you say yes.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Tim. There's a giant man.
Oh, I saw Tim
working in the background.
I heard the train, so I was like, she must be an Emporia.
I am an Emporia.
You can hear the train.
I did not do the 2016 trend, but I did for fun just look back at my own pictures. I always struggle with those things because I'm always worried I'm going to leave something that's important out and hurt somebody's feelings. But like that's the year. I think
the year before you met me, so it was very hard.
That's the year we launched the 200 Women, 200 Miles campaign that fall. That's the year that I literally had a moment where I just decided, like, it was a very clear moment where I was like, I'm saying yes to things that I'm excited about. And I said yes to Rebecca Rush and did the mountain bike MTB Lao, which honestly, Allie, as you're telling that story, I'm like, it's the same thing I did on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. I broke my wrist on the beginning of the second day. And I mean, my nickname was Crash Test Christy because I literally crashed every day. And the pictures I have from that, like, not my favorites, but the one that are in my favorites file are my body covered from head to toe in bruises. But I said, I mean, Rebecca asked me and I was like, I think maybe you don't know who I am. I don't have a mountain bike and I don't ride mountain bikes. You'll be fine. Okay. And Salsa sent me a mountain bike and I was not fine. But I did it. I did it. Be fine. And it was 7 days of just, I mean, hell, like it's really, really, really hard. It's really hard.
See, wouldn't it be better if all those 7 days were just like chunked?
I don't know. I was really glad when I could sleep. I mean, the sleeping wasn't amazing. Like the conditions weren't fantastic, but I did appreciate the sleep. I was so sick of rice and eggs. I didn't like rice and eggs are a staple for me and they are back to being a staple for me. But the funny thing was like at the time when I got back, I couldn't even smell them without getting nauseous. I was like, I'm so sick of rice and eggs. But anyway, so that my 2016 was a pivotal year for me where like that to me was where it became important to invite women in. Like my eyes, we'd started DK Unbound in 2006, but really I had ridden with men that whole entire time and just decided from the encouragement of several other women, like what they needed was just an invitation. And, the More Women, More Miles to me is a legacy piece of the 200 Women, 200 Miles campaign. It's a carry on of challenging women and making sure we're continuing to invite. By continuing to invite women in, we continue the storytelling, we continue the inspiration. It's just so incredibly important for women to show up and be there so that other people can see. Like the red balloon almost needs to be like the more women, more miles like
I know,
logo. It's like
your own balloon.
Let's get like one of those like used car lot, like
yeah.
I don't know, that might give me a concussion.
I know, we might all be nauseous at the start, although it would get some of the men out of the way that tried to shove into our group. Okay,
they're just jealous. So yeah.
On that note, so we are going to line up at the 100 again. So you can line up if you are signed up for the Unbound 100. So right now it's sold out. There's probably not going to be extra spots this year because everybody's coming for the 20th anniversary. But for those of you that are listening and you're going to be there, and you're going to do the 100, we want to invite you to ride with Allie. So Allie, what's your planned pace? What's the game plan?
What? There's a game plan? It's not till May.
My game plan is to no, my sternum's fine. It juts out in between my chest. What pace did we decide on, Catherine? Is it 16, 15 miles an hour?
15 to 16, yeah.
Yeah, around 15 to 16. We're gonna do I will be there with a big red balloon of some kind. Catherine's riding with me. Boom.
We'll figure out how to line up. We're going to try to get back. Like we were behind we were inside the barriers. We're going to try to go just a little further back so it's easier to get in this year.
And we had a great time last year. I listened to all the feedback. I get so many messages from you guys. Like, it's amazing. I think like the most powerful part of it, of course, our pre-ride, but lining up and just lining up with fellow ladies, and knowing you're in a nice bubble to start. I will keep you safe. I am super bossy and loud. And so we get through the first 10 or so miles together and find a nice pace. The biggest mistake people make at races in general, I think especially at Unbound, is its own cup of tea, is everyone's a world champion at the start. And it's a long day. It's 100 to 25, 50. It's a long day. And you stay with me. I promise I will shepherd you through this. And we stay together. So you're with a bunch of women and like-minded people. And we stay together through that first little bit and we find a nice blob of a good pace. And if you're feeling like it's too slow, you can go for it. If you want to ease off. I never want to spoil anybody's party, but I think the part of this is the best part is that we get to start together and you're starting with a bunch of ladies. And if anyone is mean to you, you got me. And I am, Christine, Catherine can attest, I can be one boss bitch. So I will take good care of you. But it's really fun though, just all of us to start together. If you want to start in that area, if you want to pre-ride with us and then start way up above and go race, go for it.
Yeah. Or if you want to stop back, if you're like, I just want to start with a bunch of women, I don't think that's going to be my pace. We had that last year and it was fun because people, even if they didn't ride with like the big group, they were like, oh, I met a friend that I actually ended up riding with this person because we ended up the same pace. And so like you it's just can feel really scary to stand at the start line by yourself in a sea of strangers.
Standing at the start line and you're there like awkwardly early, you got to pee, maybe like you meet a friend, they hold your bike, you get to go use a porta potty. That's always nice. And then hopefully when we do the pre-ride, we look at the first few corners of the gravel.
They're not flooded this year.
Yeah.
On the pre-ride.
Like we had for the first 10 miles, we had 100 women together and it was just amazing. And the bubbles and the parties that were going on. And I think that was just nice to like pace yourself as you're first starting and then everyone can decide like how you're feeling. But I am a human metronome on a bike and I will tell you this is a pace I'm going to do. And I do not get goaded into going faster nor slower. I will be very good at, slower possibly due to conditions. If it's somehow like super muddy, like we will adjust. And that's totally fine. like last year we had a crazy tailwind on the way home, and I was like, I can't go 16 miles an hour not pedaling. Like, what am I going to do? Right. So, I mean, there's conditions, but I think the main thing is that start. And then hopefully
I agree. I think that's the most impactful part of this is like the start, and there's opportunities to regroup at checkpoints, and but yeah, it's a great way to overcome that anxiety of a massive group start.
Yeah, and we get to chat, take pictures, do just like someone hold your bike, like I said, and then I think Christy and Catherine and I will keep you updated on more resources as we get all our ducks and pigeons in a row, because pigeons would be me.
We were laughing today. We were talking about that, and I was like, that meme that's going around. I'm like, ducks have gone south. I think I have pigeons. I don't know what's happening. Yes. So that's part one. And then speaking of pigeons in a row, so we also know like not everybody's signed up for Unbound. It's not accessible for everybody too, right? Like it's an expensive weekend. It's a great investment. But Allie and I are looking at an East Coast and a West Coast race that would happen in October. That would be something fun that we can go to, and also have a group to rally. So if you're like, I'm not able to do this, but I would love to do something in the fall, you can either send me a message via Instagram, or you can head over to feisty.co and sign up on our website. Like if you look for the Girls Go Under Cycling and the Girls Gone Gravel newsletter, we'll put everything in the newsletters. Or if you send me an Instagram message, I'll send you the link to sign up for our emails. Legal stuff, you have to go through our system because they don't like you to add people randomly to your email list. So we're working on that, and then just like more resources. So keep an eye out for that. We think women, like in Feisty, we always say women don't need to be empowered, but what we do need is like things to be easy, right? Like not as easy as in like training's not easy, but like figuring it out. Like I don't have time to go watch 48 YouTube videos on tire choice, or training philosophy or any of those things. And I like that stuff, but like that gets overwhelming. I just need somebody to tell me what's the plan. So that's the plan. We're going to help you find the plan.
And if you are in the area and come to Unbound weekend, regardless, there'll be a group ride. So even if you're not signed up for the 100, there's going to be a great group ride that you can join in and feel that impact of all of the women. So, and that's free. So,
and the brunch, so you can sign up for that. And that's a pretty,
we have the brunch.
We're having a brunch. I'm working on the details.
Heck yes. That's news for me. Oh my gosh.
So,
well, the table brunch again, the one that Christy does.
The table.
You didn't tell me that. That was not in the email, Christy.
Oh, sorry. It's not out yet, but
I think the other thing I want to say though is there is something special about me, Allie and Christy. But if you contact like your local race and you're like, hey, can I do something for women at the race? Like if you live in Georgia, or if you live in South Carolina, or you live in Oregon, and you're like, I go to this local race, I would love to have like either a pre-ride for women or a meetup, at the start. I bet that race director would be thrilled to do that and help connect you. So this isn't like, we get to do this on a bigger scale because we have this audience, but like everybody that's listening to the podcast, except for the 3 guys, you have like this ability to influence the women. And you do too, guys, but the women in your community. So don't be afraid to like, just be like, hey, let me reach out to like this local race director and see if I can, even if it's like at registration, there's a thing with, I don't know. I'm just
or maybe like a discount for bring your buddy, or I mean, there's lots of things you can do, or a pre-ride. But I mean, I think what Feisty and with lifetime support and all of this is like more women, more miles, like we've talked about and Catherine's said, is like we're here to get like more women to line up for whatever your race is. And it doesn't have to be a race, whatever you want to call it. It can be a race, it can be an event, it can be a challenge, but really we just want to make it easier. Like Catherine said, I know we're all capable of doing very hard things. We've discussed that. But it's nice to be invited. And maybe somebody that wants to be invited. I know I wouldn't have done Unbound unless like Christy was there. I would never have been here without people like Christy or Catherine. And I had never done a gravel race. And so if I had waited to be perfect or waited to be prepared, or waited to be the thing that I thought I should be, I would never have showed up.
Yeah.
And so it's people like you that like take away that barrier and you replace that with community and resources and beliefs. So I think that's kind of why we're here, because it sounds like brave when I say it, but like literally if Christy wasn't like, hey girl, you can do this, I'd be like, what? I mean, I'd be like, I need to train. Love. I need to ride this amount. I need to be this person. I'm not like cool enough. And sure enough, look at us 10 years later.
It turned out pretty good.
Turned out you're cool enough.
But we are here to offer like that. We believe in you. We believe in each other a crap ton. And we believe in you, and we have community and resources. And yeah, I guess Catherine's telling us we're not special, Christy, but I think we're special.
If you're listening to this on the podcast feed, I will have Lindsay put a link in the notes to how you can connect into our email list if you are not already on it.
Am I going to do more
should
podcasts?
be.
Oh, is there a witness for Unbound, Christy? We had a question.
Oh, wait, what? I've got too many questions at me.
Oh, I had questions.
Okay, what was, Allie, what was your question?
Oh, I said, am I doing more podcasts?
Oh, yeah. Oh. So first, there was a question that came in from the audience. Is there a wait list for Unbound?
I don't know. Let me ask real quick. I know. I don't think that there is. It's always based on signups and deferrals, and we haven't had anybody deferring right yet. So at this point, I don't think we've opened a wait list, but I will check on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It might be a 2026 goal.
2027.
What year are we? 2027 goal. Okay. Yes, Allie. We want to get Allie to help host some of our podcasts this spring. So what we did last year, we had a bunch of podcasts that were specific around training and racing and prepping. And so Allie is going to kind of connect with some of her people and do some of those shows as well. So we will let you know when those are. There will be great to show up to live, or we'll have an ability to send in a question. I'm getting a head shake about waitlist. No waitlist this year. Sorry.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Stay tuned.
I mean, I think that's the key thing, is that we base that on availability. And right now we are not seeing availability. That's not what's forecasting. So stay tuned. Keep training. Not going to hurt you.
And we have extra events, or there's always an event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or look for what
we've got in the crock pot. I have no idea where that came from.
It's I'm
so old.
The ducks. Okay, Allie, if people don't know how to follow you.
Oh, hey.
Who doesn't know how to follow Allie Tetrick?
Oh, you can follow me on the gram at Tetrick, AMTETRICK. If you want a cowgirl t-shirt, Christy has one. Catherine needs one, I think.
I know, I should have worn mine.
Yeah, they're very cute. I got them a crop, women's fit, unisex. It says Watch the Femme. I'm a huge fan of Watch the Femme, which is a big Zwift movement, of course, which is the title sponsor of the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift. I also sell bandanas, which we have done a bunch at Unbound to get more girls on bikes. So you can find me all over the internets, but Saga Ventures for that. But really, if you guys have any questions, reach out, slide into the DMs, feisty. I'm sure we'll do a lot of collabs, and my spirit animal, Christy, will have you sign up for your ultra. Christy, you're going to pace me at Leadville. Isn't that the thing?
Oh, yeah, totally. Pace you right into the...
Great idea. I feel like that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
Better. I might be...
Pauline's in, so why not? Come on.
Do the downhill section, Christy.
No.
Actually, your legs are a lot shorter than hers.
Yeah. I'm like, I would die on that. I could tuck and roll.
You don't have to train her. Ease her at the end when she's tired. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
It's 100 miles running. Okay, anyway.
Okay, well, we will be seeing Allie back again soon. And thanks for folks that were able to join us. And if you're listening to us on the podcast feed, then go ahead and check out the link in the show notes if you want to sign up to get more information in your inbox.
And thanks. And if you guys have any specific questions or topics you would like us to cover, find us and let us know, or I'm sure we will do a poll to ask.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Take